Yeah, I like that. Thanks for watching. Join me next time when... Oh, you need more than that. Well, okay. Welcome back to my Doctor Who reviews, and today we're going to be talking about the Witchfinders, episode 8 of season 11 of Doctor Who. And as I just said in the kind of gag in the opening there, I'm not sure I have very much to say about this episode. I liked it. It was fun. Alan Cumming, brilliant guest role. Some nice effects. Great to have an actual monster in an episode of Doctor Who for a change. I'm pretty happy that everything in there was what I would look for an average episode of Doctor Who. And in any other season, that would make it quite an unremarkable episode. But in this season, sadly, it actually ranks up quite high. Probably in the top 3, maybe in the top 2, for me. Let's dig into the particulars. I'll talk about the things which really worked for me, the things which didn't quite land, and we can have a chat about this episode. So let's start with the things that I liked. The performances were pretty strong throughout. I thought all of the guest cast, all of the speaking guest cast, took a really good role. Some of the strange villagers in the background just kind of swaying and banging a drum, less compelling. But all the speaking parts were well played. Particularly, of course, Alan Cumming as King James. I thought he was funny, he was dark, he was kind of camp and kind of delicious, and I thought he was fantastic. I thought the characters of Becca and Willa were both played exactly as I would want them to be in this part. Neither of them really blew me away, but by the same token, they didn't detract from the scenes they were in either. I actually really liked the grandmother. I know we only got sort of like a brief flash of her before she died, but that was fine. But her creepy mud monster resurrection, she looked great. She looked great, she moved great. She really sold that role, partly with makeup, partly with her acting. I really, really enjoyed her in this episode. As for the main cast, I thought the Doctor was exactly what I wanted the Doctor to be. If you watched my review last week of Kablam, I said that the Doctor for me has been slowly losing me this season. Having had a really strong opener in The Woman Who Fell to Earth, every episode I've been a bit less convinced by 13. And while one episode does not a revival make, I have absolutely no complaints about her performance in this episode. She was angry when she needed to be angry, she was heroic when she needed to be heroic, clever when she needed to be clever, and funny both when she needed to and when she didn't, and that's part of the Doctor as well. I really liked Jodie's performance this episode. I would like to see more of that. And if you notice, we got Sonic Screwdriver action, but not the big arms for it, and that can only be a positive thing too. As for the companions, all of them took a good role. I liked Ryan's relationship with King James. I like Yaz getting to do police officer type thing and getting to investigate stuff, and Graham looked good in a hat. So, I love Graham. So yeah, brilliant all round really. I also haven't got any great complaints this time about the story. There are a couple of stumbles, a couple of things which I could really pick at, but nothing of the league that I had with Kablam or some of the earlier episodes in this season, like the Conundrum episode. Not saying that word again. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it's good, and it's good enough for me, and that will do me quite nicely. The effects were good, monsters were good. Delighted to actually have a monster. Been too long since that was the case. So yeah, I liked this episode. What didn't work? Well, to me, the episode took a slight dip once Becca transformed into the Morax Queen. I thought the effects on her were less good than on the grandmother, which was weird. You would think that the sort of primary face of the bad guy would be the one that would be the most interesting. She reminded me very much of the effect from what was the episode called? Knock Knock, the Peter Capaldi one with the insects living in the walls of the house that Bill was renting. Was that Knock Knock? You know the episode I mean anyway. And I thought there was a really strange story beat when she uses her power that had killed Alfonso to knock a load of people out so that she could slowly carry King James up a hill, taking long enough for the Doctor and co to wake up from being unconscious, to prepare torches, to find their way in time to stop the monster. And the timing of that just didn't work. I'm sure there must have been a better story way of doing that. But, as I say, that is a timing issue and is nothing like the problems I had with plots early. So I want to finish with just a couple of thoughts about the season overall. We have 2 episodes left. Only 2. We have 2 episodes left, and there are just a couple of things that I wanted to say about this season so far. And the first is kind of actually sort of a problem with this episode, in that this episode and all the ones not written by Chris Chibnall have been the better episodes in this series. And there hasn't been a season of Doctor Who so far since the revival in 2005 where the best episodes haven't come from the showrunner. I mean, okay, during the RTD era, some of the best episodes came from Stephen Moffat, but there were still some brilliant episodes from Russell T Davies. Just brilliant. And in the Moffat era, Moffat writing at his best was amazing, is amazing. But Chris Chibnall has yet to really wow me. And that is a problem ongoing for the showrunner, for not just this season, but for however long Chibnall stays with the show. He really needs to raise his game. And the other thing which really is starting to bug me, and I didn't think it would, I thought it was actually going to be a really positive thing, but I'm really missing the season arc. Some of them work better than others. Some of them were very periphery to the episodes they were in. The weirdness of Bad Wolf and the references to Torchwood and Saxon during the RTD era. Some of those were perhaps not the most compelling series arcs, but at least it gave a sense of direction for the series. And I really think that this season has missed a sense of direction. And this is coming from a fan of the classic era, where there wasn't any kind of direction. The first 4 episode part of the Peter Davison era had nothing to do with the final 4 episodes of the Peter Davison era. And I think it's been a real improvement to get a sense of building towards something. We're 2 episodes out from the season end, and I have no sense that we're building to anything at all. That's it from me this episode. Thank you for watching. I will be back on Friday with my follow-up Friday. I don't actually know what it's going to be about yet. Maybe classic mythology monsters, werewolves and vampires and stuff like that to go with witches, maybe. I'll think of something anyway. And then I'll be back next week, of course, to review the next episode of Doctor Who. If you want to see more about me and Doctor Who, click the box there. If you want to see about me and writing, click the box there. And I will catch you next time. Cheers.